guys, welcome to today's video. Today we are talking about everything that I purchased in the month of June. I'm gonna total everything up, look at it in terms of my overall budget. I did want to call out a couple of changes that I'm making to kind of how I'm doing this series going forward. So not a huge change, but I did want to call out that I'm gonna try and get through everything I purchased in a much more rapid fire pace. What I've decided I'd rather do is come back in a month or so and actually give you a full review on these products. So kind of a where are they now, what do I think about them now kind of video. I'm actually going to film a April where are they now. So looking at my beauty budget for April, all the things I purchased there, I've now played with them for the months of May and June. Let me talk to you about how I'm feeling about them. So I think that's how I'm going to do these. So what I intend to do is get through all the products I purchased, how that totaled up into my budget, what money is left, what my budget for next month looks like, and that is what is going to be in this first video. And then I'm going to film a second style of video, which is going to be kind of a will I buy it style video. And I kind of feel like that may be a little bit more interesting to you guys to go through new releases that have caught my eye, things I'm thinking about purchasing, things that I'm not interested in purchasing and why, and kind of do a monthly will I buy it video as opposed to trying to do one every week the way that the rock star filmer Samantha March can crank out content. So hopefully that makes sense. Review the budget, talk about the sort of wish list, will I buy it, anti-haul stuff in a second video. So let's go ahead and get into the products that I purchased for the month of June. So first up, on June 3rd, I purchased one of the Balm duos that came out. I got the shade the Balmfire. It contains two sort of glowy blushes, one that's sort of a peachy pink color on the top, and then it flips down to reveal a lavender shade down below. I am not super impressed with one of these shades. The top shade has an absolute crap ton of glitter in it, so I'm really not liking that blush. The purpley shade down below is pretty, but I'm a little bummed because I really was hoping to have a compact little blush duo that I could travel with that gave me some really interesting shades. So that I picked up for $26, but not necessarily my favorite so far. On 6/4, I was also feeling under the weather, unfortunately, so I sent my husband to the store to pick up some Walgreens Epsom bath salts. So he picked up, it was like buy one get one free. He got me a lavender and a eucalyptus. Those were $6.45 for two big bags of those Epsom salts. I did count those in my beauty budget because those are technically bath salts, bath and body stuff. So that is counting in my totals here. I do think that they are good dupes for the Dr. Teal's Epsom salt baths if you are interested in taking baths that help kind of relieve muscle pain or aches and pains when you're sick. And then there was a bit of a break for purchasing. My next purchase wasn't until June 13th because we were doing some traveling in Chicago and I just really didn't have time or energy between being sick and then traveling and being sick while traveling to Chicago. I really didn't purchase a whole lot, but I did on the 13th go and get my hair colored. You'll probably notice it's a lot lighter than it has been in past videos. We did sort of a balayage, why can't I say that word? A balayage to kind of bring a little bit of strawberry blonde to my hair for summertime. I'm digging it. But one of the things I ended up picking up from my stylist was the Olaplex number 3 hair perfector. So I bought this from her for $20. She often sells me things at cost, so I think this retails for a higher price point. I'll have to put it on screen. I have had a chance to use this once. They really recommend you do it a couple times a month, and essentially what you're going to do is wet your hair and then put this on. So make sure your hair is just slightly damp, and then put this all over your hair and let it sit for around 14 minutes. Some people say to leave it overnight, but from what I've seen online, 14 minutes is kind of the maximum amount of time in which you're going to see any impact. Anything past that 14-minute mark doesn't really do anything. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's kind of what I've been doing. So I've been setting my timer, and then I will wash my hair and condition my hair afterwards. So this is an interesting product in the sense that it is something that's not a leave-in treatment, or it's not a mask that you put on after washing your hair. You actually do this prior to washing your hair. So for me, because we lightened my hair and because that is going to dry it out a little bit, my hair was really healthy going into that lightening, but I can definitely tell that it's a little drier now. I thought having something like this might be helpful. I've used this once. I will have to report back to you on kind of overall if I really see a difference with my hair, but I did want to try something like this just to keep my hair as nourished and strengthened as possible. On the 16th, I popped into Target and got a new dry shampoo. So this is the Kristen Ess Dry Shampoo Style Reviving. I really like this bottle. I think it looks like it looks every bit as nice as my Living Proof bottle. It is $14, so it's not as cheap as some dry shampoos, but I actually find this to be really, really effective. It has a perfumey scent to it. I actually like the perfume scent. Kind of reminds me a little bit of some of the Elizabeth and James Nirvana scents, and to be honest, it kind of has that powerhouse oil absorption the way that Elizabeth and James Nirvana dry shampoo did. So far I'm really enjoying this. I think this is definitely one that I see myself reaching for on really oily hair days. And then the other thing I ordered on 6/16 were some eyeshadows from JD Glow. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw me unbox these live and do some swatches, so this may not be new for all of you, but I did go ahead and pick up 3 of her Galaxy shadows and 1 of her Metalon eyeshadows. I would tell you the texture of the Galaxy shadows is very loose and fluffy and definitely has a ton of glitter in it. So this is definitely a product you need to put a glitter glue down on first. And then I would probably even recommend using your finger or a wet brush just because the shadow is so fluffy and flakes all over the place. I really do love how these Galaxy shadows look on my eyes. I've done one look so far with this purple sort of duochrome silver purpley shade here, and I loved how it turned out. Now the Metalon shadow is more of your traditional high shine foil shadow, so they're a little bit more work to deal with than other eyeshadows, but the payoff and the intensity and just the shifting of the duochrome trichrome is absolutely gorgeous. I paid $34 for that JD Glow order. Each of the shadows were $7.50 each, plus there was $4 in shipping. On 6/19, I placed an order on Ulta's website. They had a 20% off coupon going, so I picked up a couple things I had my eye on, one of which was the new Tarte Unleashed palette. On the front it says Young, Wild, and Cruelty Free. It's got this nice sort of shifting pattern. This formula is different than their other eyeshadow palettes I've played with. I don't feel like this is the Amazonian Clay eyeshadow formula, but I actually really enjoy it. I have played around with most of the shades in here, but not all, so this is still in my testing bin. In general, I found the shadows to be easy to work with, very saturated. I really liked the color story in here. I liked that it had cooler plums and warmer shades and pops of teal, and I don't know, something about this eyeshadow palette from Tarte caught my eye, and I haven't had a Tarte eyeshadow palette catch my eye in a while, so I will give you guys a more in-depth review on it in the future, but so far so good. It did also come with a sample of their new Big Ego mascara, so a little sample size of it. This, I'm going to tell you, I don't really love. I find it to be a little dry, and therefore isn't really building a whole lot on my lashes. Just too dry of a formula for me. Plus the wand is just a little big. I feel like it's just too big for my eyes. I have smaller eyes. I just do. So these big, giant applicators just inevitably mean I have mascara all over my face. So the mascara is going to be a definite pass for me. That eyeshadow palette with the 20% off coupon after taxes cost me $33.54. It is normally $39, which I think is a reasonable price point for a big giant palette from somebody like Tarte. The other thing I was super excited to try is from one of the new CoverGIrl products. So this is their cream eyeshadow stick. They call these their TrueNaked shadow sticks. These retail for $9.99. I ended up paying $8.59 after 20% off plus taxes. I did pick up the shade 930. I can't see the name on here, but it's this beautiful, perfect sort of bronzy copper shade that has a ton of gold shift in it. I will say these things are freaking bulletproof. I'd actually swatched this on the back of my hand for a Instagram stories that I had kind of done live, and then I had gone upstairs to take a shower, and this thing lasted through the shower. Even after scrubbing with my loofah and soap and water, it took an oil-based cleanser after I got out of the shower to remove this swatch. In fact, I better wipe this off now. So I was super impressed with this. They glided on the eyes. So far, so good. I'm actually contemplating picking up a matte version just to give it a whirl as well. So I've seen these compared to the Laura Mercier Caviar Eye Stick, and so far I think I would agree this is a phenomenal product from CoverGIrl. And then I placed another Ulta order on June 21st. A few days later, they sent out an email for Diamond members, and they had also kind of thrown out a couple of free gifts. Some of the free gifts for even full-size product were not cruelty-free, so I did not take them up on those, but I did pick up a few other items that I had my eye on. One was this foundation from NYX. This is their Born to Glow Naturally Radiant Foundation. I picked up the shade Porcelain. I think they have one lighter shade than I picked up. I'm in the process of testing this right now. I do think it is very lightly glowy. It's not like super greasy glowy, which I prefer. It's almost more of a satin texture. So far, so good with this one. The biggest downside I have with this is the packaging. I find it very difficult to work with because the product inside is very runny. And you've got a fairly large kind of squirt applicator with this. So I find that I am like dumping out buckets of this product on the back of my hand when I go to use it. And I really wish that if they were going for this runnier formula and they wanted to do a squeezy tube package, they would have used something with a slightly finer point applicator so I didn't squeeze out so much every single time, because I find it to be a little messy to work with. But so far so good. I like how this one is applying on my skin. With all of these drugstore products, guys, I still intend to do a drugstore roundup for some of the new summer releases that are coming out. So look for that video. We will be doing some rankings and talking about all of the drugstore products I've been purchasing the last couple of months. So this is not the last you will see of all of these drugstore products. I also picked up another one of these I Heart Revolution lip glosses. These are their I Heart Chocolate lip glosses. I had picked up Chocolate Orange, which is a really pretty warm gloss, and this is almost more of a lip lacquer. It's got so much pigment to it. It really is 100% full opacity, but I wanted to pick up another shade. This is more of your traditional sort of pinky nude. This is Chocolate Brownie, and I was also curious if the scent changed from Chocolate Orange, which had a lovely orange scent to it, to Chocolate Brownie. It does. This smells just like a chocolate brownie. If you bought like a box of Duncan Hines chocolate brownie mix, that is what this smells like. I really like this color. I really like this formula. So that I picked up for $5.38. And then I also picked up a couple bottles of nail polish from some cruelty-free brands. I've been trying to explore some cruelty-free nail polish brands since my go-to Essie gel polish is not cruelty-free. Kind of starting to dip my toe in the water and try a couple of cruelty-free nail polishes, and I'd never tried any from Pacifica, but there was a couple of colors that had caught my eye at the store. One is Tourmaline, which is this purple that has a really beautiful pink aqua shift to it, and then the other one is Abalone, which really does look like the abalone shells you can pick up on the beach. That is the shade that I'm wearing on my nails today, this abalone color. So played around with Abalone. I have not put this one on yet. I've just been really lazy with my nails this month, so I need to play around with these a bit more and report back on how long the formula lasts. Does it chip on me a ton? So on and so forth. Each of those nail polishes were buy one get one half off. So I paid $9.68 for one and $5.81 for another. And then the other thing that I picked up that day was actually free for Diamond members, and this was from Jane Iredale. I've never tried anything from her, but I picked up her Palm Mist. This is her hydration spray. It looked like a really nice list of ingredients on the back. It actually ends up having a really nice sprayer. Like, it's really nice and misty, but not so misty that you're not getting anything on your skin. It does have a light sort of fruity scent to it. This is primarily from a lot of different sort of aloe extracts, fruit extracts, rosemary, etc. It's got a nice ingredient list. I do feel like it is hydrating, but I need to play around with this one some more. But so far I've been impressed with it. On 6/22, I was in Walgreens and picked up a couple of NYX products that are new releases. One is their Lingerie Push-Up Long-Lasting Lipstick. I picked up the shade Dusk to Dawn. I have to be honest, I'm not super impressed with this color. It's very white-based and chalky looking on my lips. It kind of applies streaky and chalky. Contemplating whether or not I want to try another shade just to see if I could find one that, if the color works, I would enjoy the formula as well. Lip Lingerie ended up costing me $9.68. And then I also picked up their new On the Rise mascara. This retailed for $11.83 after taxes. So far, guys, I actually really like this mascara. This is one I'm probably going to toss in my everyday makeup drawer. It does have a silicone kind of wand. Sometimes these silicone wands can be ones that like cause all of your eyelashes to kind of stick together and you end up with like 3 clumps of lashes. This one is actually a little more separating, but I do really like what it's doing to my lashes, and I feel like the more I've used it, the more I've liked it. So I will continue to play around with this guy. And then on 6/22, I actually went into the Ulta store to pick up a couple of items because I had my $10 off birthday coupon to still use. I was really pleased to see that I was able to find the eyeshadow palette that I went in looking for, and that is this jumbo. This is from LA Girl. This is their Haute Heat palette. They did a warmer tone palette. This was the last one they had of either of the colorways in the store. It is enormous. It has this huge freaking mirror, and then you've got all of these very purpley, rosy, cool tone shades. I have been playing around with this a little bit. So because I had my $10 off birthday coupon, they used part of the money towards this. So this ended up costing me $7.62. I'm kind of confused about this palette because they had it on Ulta's website. I added it to my favorites list to pick up, and then it disappeared off the website completely and hasn't come back. I can still see it in my favorites, but I can't purchase it. When you click on it, it doesn't go anywhere. So I'm not sure what's up with that. However, they did have a display of these in my store. So you might want to pop in to your local Ulta and see if it's there, if this is a palette you've been interested in. My first impressions of this is that the mattes seem really nice. They do need to be built up a little bit, but I'm absolutely okay with that. The shimmer shades are definitely mineral oil based, so they have that thicker, heavier consistency that you probably are familiar with if you've purchased any Juvia's Place palettes. Those feel very similar to these. So far, I think the color story is really pretty, and I've gotten some pretty looks out of it, but once again, I need to play around with this one a little bit because I just picked this up towards the end of the month. I also picked up one more nail polish while I was in there from China Glaze, which is a cruelty-free brand. I've been looking for a really pretty periwinkle blue. I had a julep nail polish, this exact color, that I loved that they discontinued. So I was really excited to find a shade like this. After my coupon, I ended up paying $2.02. And then the last thing that I grabbed that day was my free gift, which I'm gonna actually put in my donate box to send over to Project Beauty Share because it is from Lancome. It is a sheet mask. Lancome is obviously not cruelty free, so I didn't feel like keeping this, but I also felt like I could probably give this into somebody's hands who would really enjoy it. So I went ahead and took it because it was like my free birthday gift. And then while I was in the store, I tried to redeem my $10 birthday gift, and I've been alluding to that $10 birthday gift the whole time, but the coupons were not working. They couldn't pull them up on the app. They couldn't pull them up on the register. They wouldn't pull up off of email either. So that birthday coupon had been down in the stores all day. So the manager just gave me that $10 off my order and then told me, like, check it again in a few days and see if it works, and if you can use it again, either in store or online, go for it, which I thought was really, really nice of them since I was standing in the store. So I did go ahead and use that $10 coupon for one more Ulta order. I kind of went Ulta crazy this month, but there were some new drugstore products in particular that I was interested in trying, and I'm in that sort of drugstore buying mode right now, so I can test a lot of these products for you guys and do my drugstore roundup series. So lots of Ulta, Walgreens kinds of things will be popping up on my budget probably for the next couple of of months. A non-drugstore item though that I did pick up and use my $10 birthday offer for is from Persona Cosmetics. It is one of their lip gloss duos that she just released, and it came with these two really beautiful shades, this beautiful coral and then this perfect mauve. I had seen Samantha March talk about this formula and she said it was a really nice lip gloss formula, and she's absolutely right. It's very lightweight, it's not goopy or sticky. These are not super sheer, so you can definitely wear them on their own, but they're sheer enough that you could layer them over lipsticks. So I have worn each of these once at this point, and so far I'm impressed, but I will report back to you guys in the future. Those I paid $15.05 for. The other thing I picked up then was a blush from Kiko Milano. So I'm kind of excited to see Kiko Milano show up at Ulta. I have purchased some things off their website and have loved a lot of products from them. So if Ulta starts carrying their products, I'll be super excited. Right now they're carrying two of their limited edition collections, an ocean one and then like a green clean beauty sort of collection. I picked up one of the blushes because I know I love their blush formula, their baked blush formula. So this was $23.65. This is the shade Flawless Skin in their Ocean Feel blush. The packaging is absolutely gorgeous. It's got this beautiful marbling inside. It's this really pretty rosy peach color. I would say it's more rose peach than peachy pink. And I really love the texture of their baked blushes. I think they're absolutely gorgeous on the skin. Not necessarily drugstore. I went ahead and counted this as high-end because a $23 blush feels like it's more of that high-end price point, but I feel like Kiko Milano is kind of like Makeup Geek. It's not as expensive as like Tarte and Too Faced and kind of that level of high-end makeup, but neither is it really drugstore. And then they also had just launched Revolution Pro makeup. So this is part of the Makeup Revolution line. They now have Makeup Revolution, I Heart Revolution, and then Revolution Pro now at Ulta. Their fourth brand, Makeup Obsession, is now at Target. So I picked up some of the Revolution Pro makeup. One was this lipstick. It is their new Neutrals lipstick. I got this for $9.68. The packaging is really pretty. Unfortunately, mine arrived broken. I am waiting on Ulta to kind of send me a replacement. The entire lipstick had popped out of here, so I really haven't been able to play around with this one a whole lot because it's just so completely broken. And then I also picked up their Pro Sculpt and Glow Duo for $12.90. It's this little duo that includes a sort of bronzer contour shade and a highlight. I have used this probably twice at this point. I've been really impressed with the undertone of the bronzer. The highlighter is super glowy. So far, so good with these. I think this actually feels like it's very finely milled, very easy to work with. I like that they've got a whole range of different shades that you can pick up in this based on your undertone. So far, so good with this guy. And then I also picked up their Luxe Shadow Palette. I picked this up for $21.50. It is rather large. It's really nice, thick, sturdy cardboard packaging, but I still don't feel like it's too bulky. It's got a great mirror up here at the top. The shadows in here are really pretty. Now, I will admit I have yet to put these on my eyes. I've been primarily putting my energy towards testing these other two palettes. So here's what I would say. This does feel like a different formula than the Makeup Revolution palettes that I have tried. So I'm encouraged with that because I don't love the Makeup Revolution eyeshadow formulas. So I do feel like this one's going to be different. I do really dislike the fact that two of these shades are pressed glitters. I hate pressed glitter. Like, I just don't see the point of it in my eyeshadow palette. I have other ways that I would rather include glitter in my looks. But beyond that, I think the color scheme is really pretty. And so far they have swatched well. We will see how they apply on the eyes. I will definitely come back and report back to you on this palette and is it worth $20, because it's definitely creeping up there in terms of price point. I also picked up an interesting product from Catrice. So this is their Liquid Camouflage Under Eye Primer. I picked this up for $6.44. It says it's supposed to help for invisible lines. So it's supposed to help kind of smooth out any fine lines that you have underneath your eyes to make concealer go on better. I'm iffy on if I'm going to try this. I got to be honest, because oh my gosh, This smells like straight up chemicals that they've tried to mask with a huge giant scent of rose potpourri. Like there's so much fragrance in this that I'm kind of terrified to put this underneath my eyes. So I am not entirely sure if I'm even going to test this, guys, because I really think the idea of putting that much fragrance right in that delicate skin underneath my eyes seems like a bad idea. And then the last thing I picked up in that Ulta order is another eyeshadow palette. This is from Essence. This is their Good Day Sydney palette. I picked this up for $10.74. The color scheme I think is really pretty. I think the shadows feel really nice just to touch and swatch them. But once again, I need to kind of play with this on my eyes. But I really thought the color story with the sort of salmony neutrals and then these blues and greens was really pretty. And then the last thing that I picked up from the month was actually from Amazon. It was another one of my Physicians Formula matcha cleansing balms. This retailed for $7.99. So I do feel like this is my cruelty-free drugstore makeup remover balm. I really do like this formula. I can see myself continuing to purchase these for a while now. So now let's look at kind of how all those purchases rolled up into my budget for this month. I have 6 categories that I track into. For makeup basics, these are things like brushes or sponges or brow gel, like staples, things that I'm not purchasing to try and test for my channel. This month I didn't actually have anything that I purchased, so that is a big fat 0. In drugstore makeup, I had $132.59. And then in high-end makeup, I had $132.24. So almost even in terms of my purchasing for drugstore and high-end makeup. For skincare, I didn't have a lot this month. I was waiting until I got really down to the wire on some of my purchases for skincare because I like to have them to be as fresh as possible. I don't want to buy skincare and then have it sitting in a closet for a month while I finish something up. So I kept waiting and waiting and waiting, thinking I was going to need to purchase something in the month. And ultimately, I just bought the cleansing balm at the end of the month. So that was $7.99. I do feel like I'm going to have a pretty big spendy month in the month of July for skincare because I will legit run out this month of some key items. For hair care, I had $34.30. And then for body care, I had $6.45. So when you look at that in total, it's $313.57. When I look at that in my little pie chart, because that's always fun to look at as well, I see that I've got 42% for both drugstore makeup and high-end makeup. I've got 3% for skincare, 11% for hair care, and then 5% for body care. So I have kind of a money in system. So my budget is $400. That's how much money we set aside every month out of our personal budget for me to spend. And then I also add in any AdSense Magic Links money, any gift cards that I get, and then I can roll over any money that I didn't spend the prior month. I did have some additions from some gift cards and gifts this month. June is my birthday month, so I got $50 for my birthday, and then I ended up having a store credit for Sephora that I haven't spent yet for $37.84. And then CoverGIrl, this is a blast from the past, but last fall I had tested a foundation from CoverGIrl and it really hadn't worked for me. It felt there were little white specks and particles all over everything, and so I had reached out to CoverGIrl to say, hey guys, I think something might be wrong with your fairer shade formulations. The white, probably talc or pigment that you're putting in there to lighten those foundations isn't mixing in appropriately, and so when I put foundation all over my face, I'm getting little white dots everywhere. I've purchased 3 bottles. All 3 bottles have done the same thing. They were actually very nice to deal with, and they said, no worries, set those bottles aside. We may want to send someone to collect them and look at them. But in the meantime, we're going to send you some gift certificates. So they sent me 3 $20 gift certificates, and then I couldn't redeem them. So I tried to go purchase some CoverGIrl products to put into a giveaway, some of my favorite CoverGIrl items that I thought would be a great giveaway for you guys, and the gift certificates that they sent me didn't work. I tried to use them in a couple different retailers and they couldn't get them to work in the registers, and so I ended up reaching back out to CoverGIrl and saying, hey guys, you sent me these. heads up, they don't work. I can't get them to work. Here's what the retailers are telling me. They felt really bad, and they ended up just sending me a check for the 3 foundations that I had purchased last fall. So I also got a $36 check from CoverGIrl that I'm kind of counting in this gift card / gift bucket. So that actually all combined ended up giving me $738.26 to spend this month. I spent $313.57, which is leaving me with $424.69 to roll over. My rollover money is getting out of control. I feel like I'm spending and picking up all the products that I want to test, the drugstore items that I want to test. I feel like I've got a manageable amount of products that I'm testing for my channel and testing for drugstore roundups for you guys. I don't necessarily want to spend just to spend because it's sitting there. And so I did want to briefly touch on kind of how I'm going to handle this going forward. So let's talk about what I'm going to do for the month of July. So I'm actually going to drop my budget from $400 to $300. So the money that I'm pulling from my husband's and my personal finances to put towards this, I'm going to drop that from $400 to $300. And I think that is going to be manageable for a couple of reasons. One, I've been rolling over money every single month, and I feel like I've still been making lots of purchases. So I feel like $300 is going to be a manageable amount for me to handle. I'm also going to be pulling in Magic Links and Adsense money this month. So I'm going to have $189.64 in AdSense and Magic Links money that I'm going to be putting into my budget. That $189.64 is just AdSense. Magic Links hasn't paid out. That is AdSense for the month of May and June because of how things fell with the timing in the calendar and how I made money. Technically, a good chunk of that is from each month, but it looks like I'm going to have over $100 every month coming from those Magic Links and AdSense revenue from my channel. I've told you guys I'm going to be kind of transparent about what I'm making with you guys and then how I'm spending that into my channel. So I feel like with me making at least $100 a month is kind of what it's trending right now. That's going to kind of offset that, kind of pulling me down from $400 to $300. I'm way, at least this month, I'm far above and beyond that $400 budget that I had originally set for myself. And I just don't want to be rolling over like $500, $600, which is the direction we were heading given kind of the money that I had set aside. I want my budget to be realistic to what I need to spend, both for my skincare routine, body care, and all that, and then also for what I want to test for my channel. So $300 for my budget, $189.64 for my AdSense Magic Links money this month. I'm going to roll over the gift card money that I had from the prior month, the $123.84. So that is going to give me a budget of $613.48 for the month of July to spend, which is a little high, but I also feel like I'm about to have to buy some significant amounts of skincare. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if $200 needs to go to skincare this month, because last month I hardly spent anything for skincare and I'm running low, like I said. So that's my plan going forward. We're going to try this. I reserve the right to modify this budget again. Like I said, I don't want to be rolling over, hundreds and hundreds of dollars every month. I want to have a realistic budget that lets me do the things I want for my channel without being like, let's go order $1,000 at Sephora. Like, that's not my life. That's not what I want to spend all of the money that I make on. So I feel like this is going to be a little bit more reasonable. We will check in at the end of July, beginning of August to see how this went. And if we need to call any audibles at that point, we definitely will. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and kind of breaking down my budget as well as what I purchased this month. So look for part 2 where we're going to kind of cover the needs, things that I absolutely know I need to purchase for the month, the nopes, new releases and products coming out that I'm just not interested in and why, and the wants. So we're going to be doing the needs, the nopes, and the wants on a monthly basis to kind of go through the things that I'm interested in a will I buy it kind of scenario. That video is coming out shortly. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Talk to you soon. Bye.